Hey guys, Felix Harsh here. New name's actually McCoy now. Got you on that. Here we have the Caster Racing ET0821. It's an E-Buggy. We're going to be doing some track testing out here. We're at Silver Fox RC Raceway. Where are we at? What town are we in?
Crescent, Minnesota.
Where?
Crescent, Minnesota.
Crescent, Minnesota. Track owner Greg has been gracious enough to open the track. He's out water now, so you might actually hear the water pump going in the background. He has a 10 scale track, and he also has an 8 scale track. So we're going to test the E-Buggy out, see how it does, do some fine tuning, see if we can make it happy. Greg's had one in the past, and he had some issues with trying to get it settled, and I think it was a sway bar thing. So we're testing sway bars and shocks today. Currently what I have on mine is Kyosho light blue front and rear springs. And it might be a little stiff. The track has some ruts in it, so we might change some oil. But I'm also running a 2.3 front sway bar and a 2.5 rear AE sway bars. I had to cut the front one down a little bit, it's a little long. So here's a car. I have a Hiace RC DS 700 high-speed servo in it, running high volt. And I'm running a ZTW speed control. It's a 220 amp Pro, the Beast Pro, and also a 1950 Beast Pro motor. So we're going to test this out, try to get some footage on the track. It looks like it's going to be kind of fun. Until then, we'll shoot the next videos and I'll just edit these in. So until then, have fun.
Beautiful dust there.
Hey everybody, I'm back here. Finally made it home. It was a really long drive from Minnesota. I was a little tired after that trip. I've been learning some of the finer aspects to try to figure out how to edit videos, so that's my next task in life, I guess. But for now, we're going to talk about the Caster ET0821, the E-Buggy that we're running. Everything about the car I truly like. Suspension wise, shocks held up well. They are 15mm shocks, and for some people they may be a deal breaker, but they held up well. As long as you have a good fitment of your pistons and you get the right oil, the car is going to do what it's supposed to do. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I tried a new wing and from Caster looks really aggressive. Give me just a second, I'll grab it. Alright, so this wing from Caster, you can see it very well. Looks pretty gnarly, dude. It just looks futuristic. It may not be legal for FBAR or any of that kind of stuff, but hey, it was fun and it worked. It actually did a pretty good job on keeping the car stable. So the car, only problem I had with it is coming off of a double on the straightaway. Lost the rear end a little bit, and I dinged it pretty hard and did some massive cartwheels and flips and popped a dog bone out of the back. I think most of that had to do with more of the flexing the rear hubs. But I have talked to the manufacturer about possibly getting a longer drive shaft for the rear and doing aluminum rear hubs to get some of that excess flex out of there. The arms, front and rear, are pretty beefy. They have almost no flex to them. There's some minor deviation, but not enough to warrant it changing the aspects of the car and the way it handles. Everything on the car other than the, excuse me, the dog bone popping out was the only real issue I had. Driving the car was just a ton of fun. It exceeded my expectations, given that it had a bench setup on it from the start. I don't have any setup sheet to go by, and I tend to try not to use other people's setup sheets anyway. But I think I have a good baseline for those people that have the car or are planning on buying the car. So things we'll cover. When we first got out, I did not double check my ride height. I bench set it at home and just went with it. New Caster springs front and rear, they kind of settle a little bit, so I was a little low, and you can tell by the rear of the car here, it's a little worn. The anodization's worn off, and that was me going down the straightaway, and you can hear it dragging. So we pulled the car off, double checked the ride height, set it, recheck camber, threw it out, and the car was doing pretty well. The first video we shot of me running, I was running a impact tire, and they were used set of tires, so they're probably half tread, so they weren't biting as well. So I went to an AKA Enduro tire, and that really helped the car settle more. I was able to go into the turns faster, and it worked out pretty well for me. The track itself is an awesome track, really, for being a small farm track. It's Silver Fox RC Raceway. They're in Crescent, Minnesota. We didn't water the track at that time. He did water the 10 scale track, but not the 8 scale track, so we were throwing roosters everywhere. So the first video that I have him in there running, that's actually Robert Delaney, my camera guy's car. He had a clear body on it, and Greg, the track owner, was running the car. And that car had a 2350 Toro truggy motor, an 8-pole motor, so the thing had a ton of torque. So when he got on it, he was throwing roosters for days. So when you see videos of me running my car, it doesn't look as aggressive, and it's just because I was running a 1950 buggy motor of mine from ZTW. But the car handles well, it jumps well, it lands well. Even with the 15mm shocks, it was landing plush. It still had enough suspension movement for when it was really rough and stuff without the car getting sideways or losing grip dramatically. So on this setup on here, I have 5,000 front, 7,000 center, and 3,000 rear, which is my base go-to for any 8-scale car. It's what I start at, and if I have to go up, I go up. If I go down, very rarely do I go down. But I have the 2.3mm front sway bar on this car and a 2.5 rear. It comes stock with a 2.7, and Greg had the car previously and he could never get the car to settle down. And I think the reason was he had 2.7mm front rear sway bars, so it just wasn't allowing the car to roll like it should, and he was losing grip and causing it to get really, really tweaky. So, so with the sway bars I have now in my car were AE sway bars. When I got home, my shipment got here from Caster Racing, so I have the new Caster Racing 2.3 front, 2.5 rear. So next time I'm ever with the track, I'll test those out. Another new products that we have from Caster are on the front end, We have aluminum hubs and carriers now, and you get those in either 10 or 15 degrees. I got the 15 degrees. They seem to work out better because we're not extremely high bite or anything. Other than that, I mean, the car's great. Handles good. Nothing's tweaked. Nothing's bent. Excuse me. Actually, I'm just really surprised with the car. I've run quite a few different brands and even off-brands or startup companies and things like that throughout the years, and this car actually exceeded my expectations, so I'm really thrilled with that. The ZTW Beast Pro 220 speed control was very smooth. Even whenever I was giving it just small amounts of throttle on the turns where I knew it was really loose at, it was still able to carry the speed and keep me consistent every time, so that was awesome. Braking in this car was insane. It has killer MOSFETs in the speed control, so when you hit the brakes, you know you're on the brakes. And I had no heat, no overheating issues with the speed control. It wasn't excessively hot out there, or humid for that matter by Kansas standards, so it did pretty well. The motor I'm running is the 1950 Beast Pro from ZTW also. I had it under geared a little bit, but we still didn't have excessive amount of heat or worry about the motor overheating or anything like that, so it did pretty well. I probably could have gone up another tooth, on my top end, and kind of smoothed out the throttle response a little bit, but it worked out real well, so I'm pretty proud of it, of those products. Overall, I give this thing a complete thumbs up. Anybody interested in these cars can contact me. I do have one more, I think, in stock here, and as soon as the flooding subsides in China, we'll be able to get more product. Right now, we're out of contact because of the flooding going on in their region, and so hopefully that goes away soon and we'll be able to get more product in for guys. I do have some parts and stuff in stock for guys that want or that have a car and need some parts. Get a hold of me, I'll get those out for you. And the only other thing I want to talk about is Silver Fox RC Raceway. I've been to a lot of different tracks, even small home tracks or the larger, bigger facilities like down the southeast when we go to like Southern River Champs, Natural Blast and that stuff. I've been to a lot of different tracks. But this little track is actually tucked in a corner of a farm, surrounded by cornfields, and it is probably almost a paradise area for tracks. Just because there's a lot of shading where you're pitting at, there's a lot of trees and stuff. The track's set up nice for the 8-scale track, and he also has a 10-scale track with just an insane wall ride. And you can see those in my other videos for the SP401. But surrounding this track is cornfields. It has chipmunks running around, and for those of us who don't see chipmunks all the time, it's kind of cool. While we were talking about him having plentiful food on his track, around his track and his farm area, a deer's walking literally across his driveway to go out in the cornfields to get some food. And he has a stream that encircles that track. It literally goes around both tracks. It's a clear water stream, and I'm not even kidding, we probably saw 30 or 40 pan-sized trouts out there, just like pool after pool after pool of trouts everywhere. So it was a pretty awesome experience. I look forward to going back there. I've talked to Greg. He has a race coming up this weekend, but I just can't make it. I wish I could because it's an awesome facility. But I have talked to Greg about maybe swinging out again sometime when I'm up north again, and he promised to cook me some good venison, so that's an awesome deal. But until next time, guys, again, this is the Caster Racing ET0821. It's E-Buggy from Caster Racing. I am thoroughly pleased with it. I think anybody who buys this car would be happy with it. The balance is awesome. The weight isn't too extreme. It's about 30. This one fully ready to go is about 3350, 3375, something like that. Depends on which tires I have on the car. So it's really not a real heavy car. So I think more and more people should run this car, and I think they would get great results and be very pleased with it. So until next time, from my remote, and look for my video that'll be coming up on the SP401 also from PR Racing, because we ran it out there on their 10-scale track. But until then, have fun, keep racing, stay safe. Thanks.